I am Nick Shell, a certified Enneagram coach. Question, why am I holding this book? Because I've learned so much from it recently. And these videos I'm making while talking about the book, it implies that a lot of what I learned came ultimately from what I learned about myself from this book, The Honest Enneagram by Sarah Jane Case. If you would like to purchase this book, you can do that. No one's going to stop you from clicking the link right there. It takes you to Amazon, and you can actually probably get a better deal than I paid for it in an actual bookstore, because I'm old school apparently. I read actual books. My wife does the whole Kindle thing, but I read actual books. Going to safely launch that on the sofa. See, I'm a 6. It's all about being safe apparently. Also, if you don't know what your Enneagram is, there's a link also for that where you can find out for free. It takes about 10 minutes. You can take that test on Cloverleaf. And speaking of Cloverleaf, if you'd like to become certified like I am, and 4 of my viewers so far this year that clicked the link, you can do that as well. There's a link right there where you can learn what it takes to become certified. Here's what I want to address in this video. Clearly, I'm not afraid of public speaking. You say, well, Nick, you're the only one in your house right now that's not really public speaking, is it? I mean, I know you've got like, what, 12,000 subscribers, but that's not public speaking, is it? Well, good point. Okay, fine. You know, you're not actually a live audience necessarily in real time. But ultimately, you can imagine a guy who can talk like this in front of a camera all day and have thousands of videos on this channel. I'm not afraid of public speaking. And I really haven't been, most of my life. It's funny because I was a true, just nervous little boy up until about 3rd grade when I started being in plays. And then by 5th grade, I started switching into my whole counter phobic version of being a 6, which I am. So I'm a 6 wing 7, sexual subtype, counterphobic. I take my fears head on. And so it's interesting to note that we all know this. What's like the #1 fear that people have, at least in the United States? Public speaking. It's even become a joke that like death is further down on the list, but public speaking is the thing that most people are afraid of. Now, let me tell you this. When I was in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I quickly learned, being in my college dorm, that all my dorm mates were complaining about writing papers and having to go to speech class. They hated it. Meanwhile, I'm like, but that's the easy part of college. It's very easy to write a term paper. It's very easy to do a speech. That's super easy. When it came to math and science and that sort of thing, no thanks, but I can write papers and do speeches all day long. And that's when it hit me. I'm not like most people because I don't fear public speaking, nor do I fear writing papers. So clearly, if I'm a 6, I got a 5 wing, writing the papers, and I've got a 7 wing, and that is, you know, the whole verbal thing and energy and all that good stuff. That makes sense, and I ended up getting an English degree because of that. So I think that's very interesting, though, that ultimately, most people are afraid of public speaking. That's a fact. We know that. Most people are afraid of public speaking. I'm not. And I really haven't been my entire life. It's one of the things I'm good at. So I embrace that. I make it part of my identity. But I'm also a 6. So it's interesting because certain 6s, especially if that 5 wing is strong, especially if they're like a self-preservation subtype, that may give them even more reason not to speak in front of a group. But for me, I totally embrace it. But again, I'm facing fears. Now granted, I was apparently, I remember, I was a shy little boy until I started getting into plays. So early life, I mean elementary, young elementary, I guess I was afraid too. But pretty early on in life, I learned to confront that fear, which is what a sexual subtype 6 will do. They will confront that fear, take it head on, and make it look like they're not afraid. Now here's the paradox. As I'm learning that this is what I've done, I was talking to my sister about it as far as, you know, and even me asking her, and she's like, so who are you again? Like, who are you really? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not that I have been lying to myself and everybody, but when you pretend to be not afraid for most of your life, you start to think, so I'm not afraid? And I think for the most part, that becomes a part of my personality where I'm truly just not afraid of these things. Maybe I, in theory, overcame those fears by confronting them, which is exactly what my subtype of a 6 does. So there you go. I'm an exception to the rule. I'm not afraid of public speaking. I enjoy it. It's something I'm good at, so might as well do it. As I'm technically doing in these videos, what would you like to say about this topic? Your words, your thoughts, your opinions belong right here.